everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, we're going to implement a beautiful and secure PIN authentication system for our Flutter banking app. This feature will allow users to set up a 4-digit PIN code for quick and secure access to their account. By the end of this video, you'll learn how to create a modern PIN setup page with a custom number pad, implement PIN confirmation, add change PIN functionality, and integrate everything with your security settings page. So if you're ready, let's dive right in. First things first, we need to add a dependency to our project. Open your pubspec.yaml file. Under Dependencies, we're going to add SharedPreferences. This package will help us store the PIN locally on the device. Make sure the indentation is correct. It should be aligned with the other dependencies like Flutter. Great, our dependency is installed. Now we're ready to start coding. Now let's create our PIN setup page. In your lib folder, create a new file called pinsetuppage.dart. At the top, let's import our necessary packages. We'll also define our color constants to match our app's theme. Now let's create our stateful widget. Notice we have a parameter called isChangingPin. This will help us determine if the user is setting up a new PIN or changing an existing one. Inside our state class, we need several variables to track the PIN entry process. Let me explain what each variable does. PIN stores the initial PIN the user enters. Confirm PIN stores the confirmation PIN. Old PIN is used when changing an existing PIN. Is confirm step tracks if we're in the confirmation phase. Is old PIN step tracks if we need to verify the old PIN first. Error message displays any errors to the user. In our init state, we check if we're changing a PIN. If this changing PIN is true, we start by asking for the old PIN first. Now let's build our user interface. In the build method, we'll create a scaffold. We're using a light gray background and a transparent AppBar with a back button. When the user presses back, we return false to indicate the PIN setup wasn't completed. Now for the body, we'll use a column with safe area to avoid the notch area. We'll create separate methods for the header and pin display to keep our code organized. Let's create the header section. This will show different titles and subtitles depending on which step the user is on. This logic ensures we show the right message at the right time. Now for the UI. We're creating a beautiful circular container with a gradient background and a pin icon. Then we add the title and subtitle below it with proper styling. Now let's create the pin display, those 4 circles that fill up as the user types. First, we determine which pin to display based on the current step. We generate 4 circles and check if each position should be filled based on the pin length. Each circle changes color when filled, from white to our primary blue. We also add a nice shadow for depth. When filled, we show a small dot inside. This creates a really nice visual feedback for the user. Now for the fun part, the number pad. This is where users will tap to enter their PIN. We're creating 4 rows with 3 buttons each. Notice the last row has an empty space, 0, and a delete button. Now let's create the build numpad row method. For empty spaces, we just return an invisible size box. Each button is a circular container with a gesture detector. The delete button is transparent while number buttons are white. For the content, we show either a backspace icon or the number. This creates a beautiful, modern number pad that's easy to use. Now comes the most important part, the logic that handles PIN entry. Let's create the onNumberTap method. First, we clear any error messages when the user taps a number. If they tap delete, we remove the last character from the current PIN string using substring. We check which step we're on to modify the correct variable. Now for number input, we have 3 different scenarios to handle. Let's start with the old PIN verification. When entering the old PIN, we add the number to old PIN. Once it reaches 4 digits, we verify it against the saved PIN in SharedPreferences. If it matches, we move to the next step. If not, we show an error and clear the field. Next, let's handle the confirmation step. In the confirmation step, we add numbers to confirm PIN. Once it's complete, we check if it matches the original PIN. If yes, we save it to shared preferences with the key, user PIN, and enable PIN authentication. Then we pop back and show a success dialog. If the pins don't match, we reset everything and show an error. Finally, the initial PIN entry. This is the simplest case. We just add numbers to the PIN string. When it reaches 4 digits, we switch to the confirmation step. Easy! Let's create a beautiful success dialog to celebrate when the user sets up their PIN. We show a green circle with a checkmark icon, followed by a title and message. The user needs to tap Done to dismiss it. This gives great feedback that their PIN was successfully saved. Great! Our PIN setup page is complete. Now let's integrate it with our security settings page. Open your security page.dart file. First, let's import shared preferences at the top. We also need to import our new PIN setup page. Now, in our security page state class, we need to load the PIN status when the page opens. Add an init state method. This checks if PIN is enabled in Shared Preferences and updates our switch accordingly. So when users come back to the security page, the switch will reflect the correct state. Now let's create the method that handles the PIN toggle. Let me explain this logic. When the user toggles PIN on, we first check if they already have a PIN saved. If they do, we simply enable it. If not, we navigate to the PIN setup page. The result tells us if they completed the setup successfully. When toggling off, we just update the preference and the state. The PIN itself stays saved in case they want to enable it again later. Now, update the PIN security item to use this new handler. Perfect! Now the switch actually does something. Alright, let's test everything. Save all your files and run the app. Navigate to your security settings page. You should see the PIN security option with a toggle switch. Right now, it should be off because we haven't set up a PIN yet. Let's tap the switch to turn it on. And boom! We're taken to the PIN setup page. Look at that beautiful interface. I'll tap 1, 2, 3, 4. See how the circles fill up nicely? Now it's asking me to confirm. Perfect! We get our success dialog saying, PIN created, with that nice green check mark. Tap Done, and we're back at the security settings. One more thing. We want to show a Change PIN option when PIN is enabled. Right after the PIN security item, add this. This conditionally shows the Change PIN option only when PIN is enabled. Notice we pass is changing PIN. True, so the PIN setup page knows to ask for the old PIN first. And that's it. Our security page is fully integrated with PIN authentication. And look, there's a new Change PIN option that appeared. Let me toggle the PIN off and on again. This time, since we already have a PIN, it just enables it without asking us to create a new one. Smart, right? Before we wrap up, let me share some tips and best practices. First, in a real banking app, you'd want to encrypt the PIN before storing it in SharedPreferences. You can use packages like Flutter Secure Storage for better security. Second, consider adding a maximum number of attempts. After 3 wrong PIN attempts, you might want to lock the user out temporarily or require password authentication. Third, you could add haptic feedback when users tap the number pad. Just use haptic feedback light impact from Flutter services. Fourth, consider adding a Forgot PIN option that requires password or biometric verification to reset. And finally, you might want to add a timeout feature. If the user doesn't complete the PIN entry within a certain time, clear the input and start over. These additions would make your PIN system even more robust and user-friendly. And that's it for today's tutorial. We've successfully implemented a beautiful and secure PIN authentication system for our Flutter banking app. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more Flutter tutorials like this. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. The complete source code is available in the description below. Feel free to grab it and use it in your own projects. If you have any questions or run into any issues, drop a comment below and I'll be happy to help. You can also suggest what you'd like to see in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy coding!